Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, so in the last session, we discussed how English as a language emerged and the nomenclature of England. Okay, we discussed all these things in the last session, of course, in brief. And today I'm expecting, as I had already asked you to come prepared, to have a rigorous discussion as I had asked you all. So I'm expecting that I would be silent today, and I'm expecting all of you to participate in today's session to make it very fruitful. Okay, this is my expectations from all of you, and I hope all of you have come prepared. Okay, so let's see what how can we conduct today's session and how can we rate today's session. So let's begin. I'm just going to begin the session, and then I want to be remain silent today. Okay, so yes, we are here to discuss, as I had asked you all yesterday, that we would be discussing from the age of Chaucer to the age of Restoration. Okay, the historical background, first of all, because literature comes very late. Okay, if you are not aware about what happened in that particular time phrase or time period, then you cannot relate all those things to the literature of the age. Okay, so you need to be very clear with the concept or historical background of the am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I was out of the room for a short period of time. Okay, anyway. So ଆମେ ଯଦି ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ଆମକୁ ଯଦି ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ଯଦି ଭଲସେ ବୁଝି ନାହୁଁ ତାହେଲେ ଲିଟରେଚରକୁ ବୁଝିବା ଟିକେ ମୁସ୍କିଲ ହେବ ଅଫକୋର୍ସ ଏମିତି ନୁହଁ କି ଆମେ ଯଦି ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକୁ ନ ବୁଝିଛେ ତାହେଲେ ଲିଟରେଚରକୁ ବୁଝି ପାରିବାନି ଓକେ ବଟ୍ as a student of English literature and language you must know about the English history first of all because that is the basics to everything and in the interview anything might be asked to you okay so মানে ଏମିତି ବି you might have chosen a topic and apart from that topic they might ask you just for instance they might ask you a question like suppose you are you have taken or you have chosen a topic from the romantic age and it is not that they won't ask you or they won't ask you any question from the Elizabethan age or the rest that classical age new classical age like that not like that they might ask it is up to you that how do you conduct yourself in front of them and it is up to you that how do you present your topic to them okay so anyway our main motive is to be prepared completely and first of all our basics को clear करना और basics clear ହେଲା ପରେ तापरे we would discuss about the individual topics that whoever has taken or whatever you are comfortable with से सब topics को हमें detailed रे in detail ଆମେ ତାକୁ ସବୁ analyze କରିବା କଣ କଣ ସବୁ questions ମାନେ ପଚରା ଯାଇ ପାରେ how are you going to present yourself in that interview presentation skills ଟା କଣ ରହିବ procedure କଣ ରହିବ ଏ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ କୁ ଆମେ later sessions ମାନଙ୍କରେ ସବୁ discuss କରିବା okay so today we are here to discuss the age of Chaucer first of all so whatever you want to contribute with related to the topic the age of Chaucer. So broadly, we can say that the age of Chaucer the time period for age of Chaucer is from 1340 to 1400. Okay, that is what we know. Okay, anything else that you want to say about the age of Chaucer? Anything important points about the age of Chaucer?
Sir, during the age of Chaucer,
Hmm.
hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yes, 100 years of war also, sir, happened at the time. The time period is during 1337 to 1453.
Hmm. Yes.
And sir, also Black Death and War of
Okay.
Roses. So many events are just like sir, just Canterbury tells.
Hmm. Yes, these are the events that are very prominent in the age of Chaucer, because in the age of Chaucer itself, the Hundred Years' War actually begun. Okay, when if you're talking about Hundred Years' War, okay, let me ask you a question now. Between which two monarch, or between which two monarchy, the Hundred Years' War was fought, and what was the reason?
So between England and France,
Yes, England and France. And anything more about it? What was the reason of Hundred Years War? Simple. The reason was territory. Okay. Due to the confusion in territory or disputes about territory, the Hundred Years War was uh, fought, and uh, actually, also the English monarchy or English monarch claimed the French throne or throne of France. That was also a reason for which the Hundred Years' War took place. Okay, did it really continue for 100 years, or for how many years the Hundred Years' War continued?
Sir, 116 years, sir.
116. Yes,
Yes,
116.
116
16.
years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is 116 years. Okay, what was the outcome of this particular battle or war? What was the outcome?
Sir, a direct result of a feudal system.
Mm, yes. What else? England lost the battle.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and France won the battle, and England lost all the French territory that it had captured earlier, except Calais. ओके कैलाइस नामक गोटे टेरिटरी को छाड़ीदेले बाकी सब जी फ्रेंच टेरिटरी इंग्लैंड रो अधीन थिला सबको तांको छाड़िया को पड़िथिला दैट वाज द आउटकम देयर ओके okay, to talk about history, yesterday we were discussing about it. Now to talk about history and the monarchy in the history of English literature, what was the first dynasty that ruled over England? Can anybody of you tell me? Yesterday I, or not yesterday, but in the last session I told you all that the Romans, they ruled in that Celtic land for a few centuries, but actually the kingship or the kingdom's rule started with the Norman dynasty, with the William the Conqueror. Okay, William the Bastard जी की पूरे William the Conqueror ही होची. So with him in 1066, the Norman dynasty began, and from then on the monarchy system continued. Okay, till that modern period and all. Okay, so with Norman dynasty, other dynasties such as Plantagenet dynasty, okay, Plantagenet dynasty, House of Lancaster, House of York, and the Tudor dynasty. Our focus should be from the Tudor dynasty. Okay, Tudor dynasty to ही हमारा focus टा start हबार अच्छी. Just a second, let me share this blank screen so that I can write something to show you. Okay, here it is. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible if you are trying to say something.
Sir, actually, I have read somewhere that the first dynasty that
Sorry, your voice is not clearly audible. Hello.
am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you are now.
Sir, actually, the first dynasty to rule England was that House of Wessex.
House of? Okay, your voice is not clearly audible. You can just drop a message there. We can discuss on this. Okay. Okay. So I was telling you about the house of, sorry, the Tudor dynasty. Okay. Tudor dynasty. यार पूर्वरु जेते सब अच्छी हमको माने यूजुअली हिस्ट्री रे से सब जिंस माने पचरा हुए नी बट ट्यूडर डायनेस्टी रो ही हमरो जो इंग्लिश लिटरेचर दा स्टार्ट होची बोली के पहिले हमें माने भूल हबनी द रीजन इज दैट हमें सब बेले कोन शेक्सपियर को ध्यान दउची शेक्सपियर को जन्म ठू ही हमें इंग्लिश लिटरेचर को फोकस रे रखुची एंड शेक्सपियर वाज बोर्न ड्यूरिंग द रेन ऑफ एलिजाबेथ द फर्स्ट.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Elizabeth the First was the first lady ruler in England. Okay, can anybody of you tell me how come or how did Elizabeth the First became the monarch of England? What happened in the past that made Elizabeth the First Queen of England? I think we already had discussed all these things when you were in there in when you were joining the live sessions during the course and everything. So we had discussed all these things. Still, if anybody of you can remember and can tell me what happened in the past that made or that became the reason for Elizabeth the First to become the Queen of England.
So, due to her father, Henry VIII had no legitimate son.
Hmm. Is it the reason that Elizabeth the First became the Queen of England? And are you sure that Henry VIII didn't have any legitimate son? And again, let me ask you another question. These kind of questions will be asked in the interview. Once again, a question. Soon after the death of Henry VIII, was it Elizabeth the First, the next ruler of England?
No, sir. The first ruler of England was his sister Mary.
Hmm.
After
Then,
her death, Elizabeth the First became the ruler of England.
and who was the ruler of England before Mary?
Edward 5 or 6.
Who was he?
Edward 6, yeah.
Yes, who was Edward the Sixth? Edward the Sixth
Sir,
কে ছিলেন?
Henry VIII son.
Son
Henry
of
the
Henry
Eighth
VIII.
son. Okay,
Sir,
yes, you need to be clear with this. See what happened in the history. Let me just tell you in a series. Tudor dynasty began in 1485. Okay, Tudor dynasty जो था हमें पढ़ुचे, and Elizabeth the First was the last Tudor monarch. এই জিনিসটা মনে রাখিতো.
yes,
The
sir.
first Tudor monarch was Henry the Seventh. Henry the Seventh was the first Tudor monarch from Tudor dynasty, you can say. Tudor dynasty रो first king थिले Henry the Seventh and last ruler थिले Elizabeth the First. Okay, ଏବେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ series ରେ ପଢିବା. Okay, ଆମେ ଯଦି ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ series ରେ ପଢିବା ତ Tudor dynasty କଥାକୁ ତ ଏଇ ହିସାବରେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା. Henry the Seventh ruled in England from 1485 to 1509. Okay, after his death, his son Henry the Eighth became the new monarch from 1509 to 1547. But हमको Henry the Eighth करा तांकर life को बुझवाटा जरूरी. If you want to understand how did Elizabeth the First became the queen, ताहले हमको येटा बुझवाको पड़ेगा. केमती ହେଲା? See, please keep yourself mute when you are not supposed to say something. When you want to say something, you can interrupt freely. But the other times, please keep yourself mute so that I can freely tell you all. Okay. So Henry the Eighth, when he became the king of England in 1509, after the death of his father Henry the Seventh, he always wanted a son as his successor, or he always wanted that, and he openly declared that he wanted a baby boy. Okay, but from his wife, uh, a girl was born whose name was Elizabeth the First, and he was uh, deeply broken, we can say, because he was expecting a boy who will succeed the throne. Okay, who will take over the throne after his death and would continue the Tudor dynasty in England. Okay, but please keep yourself mute. I'm getting distracted by the noise, the background noise. Okay, so Henry the Eighth, say he was deeply broken. Okay, and that's why, and he approached the Pope of the Church. Remember, we are talking about English history, so definitely you need to know about the church system as well, Christianity as well. And at that time, the Roman Catholic Church was in practice. Okay, Roman Catholic Church, Rome in the first century AD, Roman Empire ruled over England or the Celtic land, and they established the Roman and they brought Christianity with them. Okay, and it continued. Okay, for a very longer period of time, continued for a very longer period of time. And ଯଦି ଆମେ Roman Catholic Church ର କଥା କହିବା, then you might be knowing that in Roman Catholic Church, Pope was the supreme leader. Even the king had to obey what the Pope had to say. Pope ଯାହା କହିବେ, king କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ତାହା ସବୁ ମାନିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. If the king had to take any decision, he had to take any decision for or against the welfare of the people, welfare of the state, or if it is affecting the state of the people of the state by any means, then the king had to take permission from the Pope of the church. Okay, so Elizabeth the First ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେଲେ, a girl, okay, Henry the Eighth approached the Pope of the church. For what? For the second marriage, because at that time the kings were not allowed to go for the second marriage. A system ta thila. Okay, so he approached the Pope, and the Pope denied it with the very first hand. Okay, মানে outwardly or straightforwardly se mana kore dele Henry the VIII ko that he cannot go for the second marriage. Okay, so Henry the VIII with his council members made some changes in the church or in the procedure of the courts. Okay, court বা মানে রাজ্য শাসনର କିଛିଟା changes se করলে. What kind of changes? With his council members, he brought some changes that made the Pope incapable or no more a part of the state affairs. Okay, when a king, whoever would the king, whoever would the monarch would be the supreme leader, not the Pope anymore. And the Pope cannot intervene in any matter which has been decided by the king itself. Okay, king jaha kiछि bi kohibe setire Pope kiछि bi कही पारिबे नाही ए भलिया किछिला चेंजेस बा अमेंडमेंट से आनिले. Okay, and after which he went for the second marriage, then third marriage, and finally Edward the Sixth was born. Okay, Edward the Sixth, and in 1547, with the death of Henry the VIII, he declared his son, who was just 9 years old, sorry, Edward the Sixth, who was just 9 years old in 1547, was made the monarch of England. But he was suffering from a disease, incurable disease, okay, for which he just ruled for few years and died in 1553. Okay, he died in 1553. That's it. Okay, for a very short period of time he could become the ruler. Okay, but he made he used to take very great decisions. Okay, he knew there was another Mary the First. Everyone knew, जदि हम हिस्ट्री को भल से पढ़िबा, that समस्ते जानि थिले जे एलिजाबेथ द फर्स्ट should become the next monarch after Henry the VIII. So Henry the VIII कोन चाहुथिले Edward the Sixth, and Edward the Sixth was an illegitimate son. Okay, so in order to make the way for Edward the Sixth clear, से कोन करथिले एलिजाबेथ द फर्स्ट को गोटे बंदी गृह रे बंदी करके रखिथिले से. Okay, so she didn't even know that her father was dead. Edward the Sixth was made the king, and even Edward the Sixth died. She didn't know about it. So in the absence of Elizabeth the First, Mary the First, jahaku ki Bloody Mary boli kiri bi kuha jautla. Okay, and she was a staunch believer of Catholicism. Mary the First was a staunch believer of Catholicism. Okay, so whoever was against, माने ये गोटे प्रकार चेंजेस आनिथिले जहाको से प्रोटेस्टेंटिज्म बोली करी कहउथिले, प्रोटेस्टेंट बिलीफर बोली करी कहउथिले. ओके, सो मेरी द फर्स्ट या फिर ब्लडी मेरी कोन करथिले, whoever were against the Catholic Church रो अगेंस्ट जे कि भी थिले समस्तन को से मारि देथिले. ओके, he she gave order that whoever doubts the belief system in the Catholic Church would be assassinated publicly. Okay, सेति पे तांको ब्लडी मेरी बोली करी भी ना दिया जायथिला. And she ruled from 1553 after the death of Edward the Sixth, 1553 to 1558, and she was then killed by the people itself. Okay, common people. She was killed. She was assassinated by the people. And after the death of Mary the First, finally Elizabeth the First was brought into action, and she was made the Queen of England from 1558 till her death in 1603. Okay, so what is the series there? Henry the Seventh, Henry the Eighth, Edward the Sixth, Mary the First, and finally Elizabeth the First. Okay, and Elizabeth the First तांकर reign को golden reign বা golden period बोली करी भी कहा जाए, because during her time the England was stable, the political system and socio-political relationships in England was very stable, and she was the reason that the Puritans came into existence, because she made a few changes in which and she took some features or characteristics of Catholicism as well as Protestantism, mixed it together, and asked the people to respect any form of religion, and she gave importance to humanity. That's why Elizabeth I was very known and very loved by people then. Okay, and with the death of Elizabeth I, then a lot of question marks were in the minds of the people then. Okay, but up to Elizabeth I, a lot of confusions were there. Okay, but when Elizabeth I became the Queen of England, then the people were very living peacefully, because any kind of religious upheavals were not there. Okay, everyone were living very peacefully, and जो कथाटा मु कहली that the Catholicism and Protestantism दी जनाकर मिक्स करिकरी जो लोक मान को गोटे मेसेज देथिले to give importance to humanity rather than any religion, सेटा ही तांकर पई गोटे बहुत remarkable statement थिला and गोटे remarkable decision मध्ये थिला. I hope up to Elizabeth I, that how did Elizabeth I became the Queen of England, you are clear with the concept. Is it so?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, was Mary the sister of Elizabeth I?
Sorry?
Mary, what was the relationship between Mary and Elizabeth? Or was Mary her sister, or like some other relative of Elizabeth?
See, yes, mo agency ta kahibi kohutili, but I forgot it. In two different versions, you might find two different relationship with Elizabeth I. Gote version te tame dekhiya ko paiba, Mary the First was the we can say aunt or auntie of Elizabeth I. Gote version te, and it was believed, because jaha kichi bi lekha jibo ame even mu bi jodi history padibi kemti padibi, just by reading the books. Okay, so I have read the two versions. Just let me clear from my side. Gote version re kuha jauchi that she was actually the sister of Henry VIII. Gote version re kuha jauchi. ଆଉ gote version re kuha jauchi that she was another illegitimate daughter of Elizabeth I. Okay, so most of the time importance diya jaye that Elizabeth I, Mary the First was the auntie of Elizabeth I. Even I'm not sure about it. Just what I have read, I need some confirmation on this. If you have read anything else than what I'm telling you, then you can express your views here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so detail ka version achi, and if this kind of questions were asked is asked in the interview also, you can put both the concepts there. Okay, in one of the books, माने books रो जदि तमे एई भलिया statement दोजो तुमको books रो reference मध्ये देबा को पड़िबो कि को book रो पढिछ. I actually have बोधे Paul Populaski रे देइछि that she is the auntie, and in another book Auden na kono re बोधे sister बोली. I'll give you the book reference of the book as well. Okay, but I think all of you got the series of monarchy in England, at least the Tudor dynasty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, to talk about Tudor dynasty, a few more. Let's talk about Tudor dynasty. Literature of this particular age, because a time re hi हमने जो very famous playwrights were born, and they used to write. So the most famous one is William Shakespeare. Okay, हमें literature को गुटे अन्य session रे ध्यान देबा, but आज गुटे a few instances that we can discuss. Okay, literature को otherwise हमें गुटे अन्य separate session रे discuss करिबा, जार द्वारा कि हमें ताकू भल से and detail रे हमें discuss करि परिबा. एबे जदि हमें mix कर देबा history को and literature को, ताहले हमें माने गोटे भी complete करि परिबा नहीं. So first हमें restoration period जाए, तार first हमें history को पढ़ी नबा, तापरे हमें literature को गोटे अन्य session रे आसीबा. Okay. Okay, just a question that is striking my mind now. How many plays did Shakespeare write in his life?
The 37th place.
37.
37 or 38?
37, sir.
Okay, how many sonnets?
154, sir.
154. And in how many phases the 154 sonnets were published?
Sir, 3 phases, sir.
Probably 3
What are
pages.
those?
Sir, 1 to 126. Then, sir, 27 to, I think, sir, it's, sir, just 1 minute, sir. 100, 126,
152,
152,
Second page is 30.
150.
15,
then
30.
153 and 154.
Okay,
Yes.
can you tell me the year of publication?
First page, first publication, this is 1522, sir.
1623,
Second,
first publication, perhaps. First page.
1623 and 1632. Second page 1632. And third page probably, sir, 56.
Okay.
Place 39 place.
Okay. So, you are talking about his posthumous publication. Okay, after his death. I'm talking about when he was alive. When did all these sonnets came into the public appearance?
Yes, sir. 1 second, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, 1 second.
So could you repeat your question?
All the 154 sonnets were published or came into public. I'm not talking about publications and all.
Yes, sir.
Came into public appearance in which year when Shakespeare was alive?
Sir, I think, sir, 154 sonnets were published in the year of 1609 by Thomas Thorpe, sir.
Yes, in 1609. ପରେ ପରେ ତାର ଯୋଉ କ୍ଲାସିଫିକେସନ ସବୁ ରହୁଛି,
Yes,
ଗ୍ରୁପିଂସ
sir.
ହଉଛି, ତାପରେ ଯୋଉ ସିରିଜ ସବୁ ବନୁଛି, ଫେଜେସ୍ ସବୁ ବନୁଛି, ପରେ ପରେ ସେଟା 1632, 1623 ଏ ସବୁ ରହୁଛି. But
Yes,
when
sir.
he was alive, the very first time it came into existence, it came into public appearance was 1609. Okay. Okay.
तुम पढ़ो बैठ
Next.
चैप्टर पर अच्छे से पूछूंगा भी आगे.
Okay. Then what are the other things that we might discuss? Okay, after Elizabeth the First, as I told you that Elizabeth the First was the last Tudor monarch or the last ruler of Tudor dynasty. What happened after the death of Elizabeth the First?
Sir, after Elizabeth's death, sir, then I think, sir, Jacobean period also started. Sir, James
Okay,
I.
which dynasty began after Tudor dynasty? Which
Yes.
dynasty began?
Sir,
ଆମେ
James-
Tudor dynasty को discuss करले. Tudor dynasty रे किए ଥିଲେ? Henry the Seventh, Henry the Eighth, Edward the Sixth, Mary the First, and Elizabeth the First. एते माने monarchs ଥିଲେ. Tudor dynasty ପରେ ପରେ କୋଉ dynasty start होची?
Elizabeth
Sir, Stuart dynasty.
Yes, Stuart dynasty. Okay. Stuart dynasty, and the first ruler of Stuart dynasty was James the
One.
James the First.
who is James the First now?
He was the son of Mary, the Queen of Scotland.
And how was he related to Elizabeth the First?
ऐसे कुछ नहीं बोलता, कुछ समझ याद रहता नहीं.
Sir, yeah,
दरवाजा लगा
Please keep
sir,
yourself mute.
yes.
Yes, sorry.
दरवाजा लगाओ बेटा
Yes, if anybody is trying to say.
So James one Finland was James sixth of
Yes, James VI of Scotland, but how it's related to Elizabeth the First, and how did, after the death of Elizabeth the First, as we know that Elizabeth the First was a virgin queen. She never married. She didn't have any successor of her own. So how did James the First was declared as the next monarch in England?
Sir, actually Elizabeth ଙ୍କର କୌଣସି ଭାଇ ନଥିଲା, ତେଣୁ sir James one ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ସେ ତାଙ୍କର ରିଲେଟିଭ ଯେ କି ସେ ମାମୁଙ୍କର ପୁଅ ଏମିତି ସେ ରିଲେଟିଭ କଣ ଥିଲା sir ଟିକେ ଶୁଣିଥିଲେ।
ମାମୁଙ୍କର ପୁଅ no. ସେ ତାଙ୍କର cousin ହେବେ James the First ତାଙ୍କର cousin ହେବେ କୋଉ ହିସାବରେ ଦେଖ ମୁଁ କହି ଦଉଛି Henry the Seventh had a son and a daughter. Henry the Seventh ଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ପୁଅ ଥିଲେ ଯେ କି Henry the Eighth and ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଝିଅ ଥିଲେ ଯାର ନାଁ ଥିଲା Mary. Okay, and Mary was given in marriage in Scotland. Scotland ର ruler ବା Scotland ର ଯୋଉ king ଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ତାଙ୍କର marriage ହେଇଥିଲା. So Mary's son was James the Sixth in Scotland. Scotland ରେ ତାଙ୍କର ନାଁ ଥିଲା James the Sixth. Okay, so after the death of Elizabeth the First, as no one was there in the line of hierarchy, after the death of Elizabeth the First in the same dynasty or in the family of the royal or the kings or rulers, so the people or the council of ministers they decided कि जे भी तांकर गोटे करीबी रिश्तेदार थिए because जदि राजा नथिबो then the state might get ruined and the people might behave wild. Okay, so ei sabu chinta kariki they decided ki je bhi tankar karibi rishtedar rahiba because everyone started claiming thrones mane jete sabu ministers mane upper hand ministers mane jete sabu thile everyone they started declaring themselves as a new next monarch, next ruler. So a group of council of ministers who were who were loyal to the royal family, they decided to bring a close relative of Elizabeth the First. Okay, and they found James the Sixth in Scotland to be the best suitor for the sport. Okay, and they requested James the First to claim the throne in England, and he did so. So Scotland James the Sixth जेहेतु से थिले माने already तांका dynasty चली आउथला. इंग्लैंड रे जेहेतु फर्स्ट टाइम लागी माने स्टुअर्ट डायनेस्टी स्टार्ट होची सो तांकर नेम चेंज करिकरी जेम्स द फर्स्ट लखिले सेइठु ही जेम्स रु माने जेम्स रो माने जेम्स टू जैकब होची एंड जैकब टू हमें जैकबियन एज बोली करी कहूची.
Yes sir.
Okay, so that is how it is related, and James the First became the
related to
monarch in
Elizabeth first. Yes.
Yes. Okay, that is how he is related to Elizabeth the First.
Yes.
Okay, and James the First ruled in England from 1603 after the death of Elizabeth the First. Elizabeth the First from 1558 to 1603.
Three.
So 1603 to 1625.
25.
Can you tell me the year? 25.
Yes.
Okay, so एई टाइम रे बहुत सारा माने confusions माने रहउतला because England रो लोके समस्ते they were very used to what they were used to माने new scheme in the religious matters and everything. Okay, Elizabeth the First माने कोन गोटे प्यूरिटनिज्म स्टार्ट करथिले लोक माने कोन ह्यूमैनिटी को बेसी इंपोर्टेंस दोथिले ना कि कोनोसी रिलीजन को ना कि कोनोसी पोप को ना कि किंग को. Okay, ना ही रूलर को तांकर मेन फोकस कहा ऊपर थिला ह्यूमैनिटी ऊपर मेन फोकस थिला दैट म्यूचुअल रिलेशनशिप्स ऊपर सोशियो पॉलिटिकल पीस ऊपर. ओके, सो ए भलिया गुटे माने सोसाइटी रे से माने रहिबा जानि सारिथिले किंतु जेतेबेले जेम्स द फर्स्ट माने इंग्लैंड रो राजा होछन्ते देन द पीपल स्टार्टेड डाउटिंग दैट as he was from Scotland and as his mother Mary was a staunch believer of Catholicism. देखो Mary the first and Mary are not the same. ଦି ଜଣ ଏକ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା, ସେମାନେ ସେମ୍ ନୁହନ୍ତି. ଓକେ, ସୋ ମେରୀ ମାନେ ଜେମ୍ସଙ୍କର ମା ଯେହେତୁ ଗୋଟେ staunch believer of Catholicism ଥିଲେ, so the people started doubting कि जेम्स द फर्स्ट ମଧ୍ୟ ଗୋଟେ कैथोलिक बिलीवर ହେଇ ଥାଇ ପାରନ୍ତି. ओके, सो बहुत लोक तांकर अगेंस्ट रे माने प्लॉट करिवा स्टार्ट करदेले, तांकर माने रिलीजन को क्वेश्चन करिवा स्टार्ट करदेले, एंड मेनी मोर थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग इन द बैकग्राउंड. सेति पय से गन पाउडर प्लॉट हेतिला. इफ यू डू नॉट नो अबाउट गन पाउडर प्लॉट, देन वी विल डिस्कस दैट इन while discussing the literature part. Literature part को जितले हम डिस्कस करिवा, तो गन पाउडर प्लॉट को मध्ये हम डिस्कस करिवा. ओके, सो जेम्स द फर्स्ट कर तांकर असैसिनेशन पय बहुत लोक चेष्टा मध्ये करथिले. ओके, but finally James the First died in 1625, and who became the next king?
Charles first.
Yes, Charles the First. Okay, Charles the First became the next king. And he ruled in England from 1625 to
1649.
1660, sir.
1649. Okay, 1625 to 1649. Okay, did he die a natural death?
No, sir, he was executed.
He was executed.
Yes, he was executed, or he was assassinated by whom?
Oliver Cromwell.
Oliver Cromwell was the leader, but he was executed by a group of Puritans.
Puritans.
Yes, sir. A group of people.
A group of Puritans. Oliver Cromwell was leading the group of people.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So after the death of James the First, Charles the First became the next king in England. And can you tell me the reason why Charles the First was executed?
Sir, because he was an Orthodox Christian.
Orthodox Christian, yes. And he was an Orthodox Christian. Yes, yes, yeah. You continue first.
Yeah, he was of bad character also. Like
tried to establish monarchy.
Yes. So he exploited common people in the name of collecting taxes and all. Okay, for nothing. Okay, he collected taxes and all. So and the main reason was that he was a staunch believer of Catholicism. James the First, of course, Protestant थिले, किंतु तांकर किछिटा डिसीजन एमती थिला जहा कि कैथोलिक्स कर फेवर रे थिला, जोते पय कि लोक माने तांको बहुत डाउट करूथिले. बट से गोटे माने प्रोटेस्टेंट और प्यूरिटन थिले. बट चार्ल्स द फर्स्ट से स्टार्टिंग रो ही कैथोलिसिज्म को ही फेवर करूथिले. So he tried to re-establish the power of Catholicism, the rule of Catholicism in England again. That's why he was executed by the common people, led by Oliver Cromwell. Please mute yourself. Please keep yourself mute when you are not supposed to say something. You are getting distracted. Okay, when you're not supposed to say something, please keep yourself mute so that we can continue with the session smoothly. Okay, I'm getting a lot of background noise which is distracting me, which is pulling me away from the concept of discussion. Okay, yeah. So I forgot the point actually. What was I telling?
One was beheaded by a group of Puritans led by Oliver.
Yes, led by Oliver Cromwell. Okay, so Charles the First was executed in 1649 by a group of people, and who actually tried. Oliver Cromwell takar gote vision thila. He was a very visionary person. Oliver Cromwell was a very visionary person, and he had a vision that monarchy should be abolished from the state with immediate effect. Eta tankar vision thila. Okay, nobody should, and आमे जो डेमोक्रेसी कथा आज पढुची, actually Oliver Cromwell had the vision then. Okay, that the same vision Oliver Cromwell had then in 1650. Okay, so finally there was a lot of discussion that who should be the next king or who should be the next ruler who should be the next guide at least after the death of Charles the First. Okay, and finally it continued. The discussion continued for 4 years, almost 3 years. Okay, and finally in 1653, Oliver Cromwell decided to become the guide, not the king, not the monarch, but the guide for the people to continue smoothly. Okay, to continue living in the state very smoothly. Okay, so he decided to become the guide in 1653, and after his death in 1659, then Richard Cromwell, his son, declared himself to be the next monarch. Okay, he declared himself to be the next monarch, and he again started exploiting people. से ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ପୁଣି ତାପରେ exploitation start କରିଦେଲା, ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ମାନେ ପରେଶାନ କରିବା start କରିଦେଲା Richard Cromwell. Okay, Oliver Cromwell ଙ୍କର ପୁଅ, and for 1 year it continued, and the people they were already irritated of Richard Cromwell. Okay, କିନ୍ତୁ ଚାର୍ଲସ ଦ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଙ୍କର ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁସନ ହେଇଥିଲା ବା ଆସାସିନେସନ ହେଇଥିଲା ସେଇ ସମୟରେ ତାଙ୍କର ପୁଅ, ତାଙ୍କର ମା and other family members they escaped and they fled to France. ସେମାନେ ଫ୍ରାନ୍ସ କୁ ଚାଲି ଯାଇଥିଲେ to keep themselves safe from the rays of the people in England. Okay, କିନ୍ତୁ ଚାର୍ଲସ ଦ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ସେଠିରେ ତାଙ୍କର ପୁଅ ଚାର୍ଲସ ଦ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଙ୍କର ପୁଅ ଚାର୍ଲସ ଦ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଫ୍ରାନ୍ସ ରେ ଗୋଟେ ଆର୍ମି ସେ ମାନେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ रूलर मान आर्मी कलेक्ट करिकरी तार सेना से सेठी रेडी रखुतिला टू अटैक ऑन इंग्लैंड टू टेक रिवेंज अगेंस्ट द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ हिज फादर. Okay, and in the meantime actually a council of members they approached Charles II to come back to England and to reclaim the throne. Okay, because Richard Cromwell तांकर जो बर्बरता थिला सेटा से सही पारु नथिले, so they invited Charles II to come back and reclaim the throne, and he did so. He came with his army, attacked on Richard Cromwell, and then claimed the throne, and finally the monarchy was restored. Okay, and in finally 1660 Charles II became the next monarch in England. Okay, and this was up to, as I had asked you कि हमें restoration period रा starting जाए हमें discuss करिबा, and this was all the historical backgrounds of specifically the change of monarchy. Okay, king माने को हिसाब रे change होचंती एई जिंसटा को हमें आज गोटे series रे discuss करिछि. I hope all of you have got few points to note down. हमें in the next session we will discuss about the literature of हमें आज जहाँ discuss करले से सब जिंसरा literature को and the importance of literature, important works, and ए सब जिंस को हमें डिस्कस करिबा. Okay, I hope all of you got my point.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, last
Yes,
class
please.
you had said that there's a video on history of English literature in BIREN'S Academy, but I couldn't get it, sir. Can you just post it on the WhatsApp group?
Okay, surely I'll drop that link there in the WhatsApp group. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's wind up the session here today. We'll meet in the next session to discuss the literature, and I'm again expecting all of you to come prepared so that we can have a very engaging discussion in the next session, because it is about literature. Yes.
Whether PDF is provided or not, I don't know, sir. That's why.
All the PDFs might be available. I do not know whether it is accessible to you or not. I think let me just talk to Biren sir about it. If it is not available there in the application, then I'll drop all the PDFs there in the WhatsApp group directly. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. This is my first class, so
okay, it's okay.
Your name also,
Okay.
sir.
It's okay. You will feel comfortable after few sessions. The first session might be a little confusing because we are just having the oral discussion here. All the PDFs, all the notes will be made available to you there in the application. If it is not made available in the application, then surely it will be posted in the WhatsApp group for your references, and which will help you make you very confident for the interview sessions.
Yeah,
Okay.
sir. What is your good
Okay,
name?
so let's meet in the next session again. Yeah.
Your name,
Okay,
please. Name, sir. Your name.
Hi, I'm Mohan. Okay,
Sir.
I'm Mohan, and I think you were not joining the sessions earlier, but many
Yes, sir.
of you might have joined my sessions. Is that or not?
This is my first class, sir.
Okay, it's okay. Uh, you will feel comfortable after few sessions. Just try to join each of the sessions lively
Sir,
and participate in the discussion.
sir. And
Be
for
active.
demo class, sir, whether may I prefer in grammar portion, sir, or literature?
You can do anything. It is up to you that because ମୁଁ first session ରେ ବି କହିଥିଲି that whichever the topic that you can defend, you should
Sir.
choose that type of a topic. ମାନେ ଆମକୁ presentation ବି ଦେବାର ଅଛି ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ତାକୁ defend ବି କରିବାର ଅଛି because they might ask you anything. କୋଉ ବି topic ନିଅ ସେଇ topic related ସେମାନେ କିଛି ବି question ପଚାରିବେ. Of course, you might have got the idea that they won't give you enough time for the self introduction and anything. ଯାହା ଦ୍ୱାରା କି ତମେ ତାଙ୍କୁ impress କରିପାରିବ.
Sir.
So it is not about writing an essay on introduction कि माने बहुत fancy word use करके हमें introduction को लेखिकी घोषिकी जीवा तांको सुनेवा. They won't even listen to you if you are trying to introduce yourself
Sir.
because very limited time would be given to each of the individual there.
Yes.
Okay, so it is better to focus on a topic which you can represent very confidently and defend with confidence.
Sir, sir.
Okay, ଆମେ ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି କହିଛି କି ସେଇ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷକୁ ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସ କରିବା once the basics is clear. ଆଉ ଆମେ ବେସିକ୍ସ ରେ ବେଶୀ ସମୟ ମଧ୍ୟ ନେବାନି. ବେସିକ୍ସ ଟା କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇଗଲା ପରେ ତାପରେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ କରି ତମମାନଙ୍କର ଭ୍ୟୁଜ ମାନେ ନେବା କି ମାନେ କିଏ କୋଉ ଟପିକ ପାଇଁ ରେଡି ହଉଛ ତାପରେ ସେଇ ଟପିକ ରିଲେଟେଡ ଆମେ ମକ୍ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ମାନେ କଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟ କରିବା ଏଠି and the possibilities or possible questions ମାନଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ଆମେ ଏଠି କରିବା and let me first check that how are you defending yourself ମାନେ ଯୋଉ ବି ଟପିକ ନେଇଛ ତାକୁ କୋଉ ହିସାବରେ ଡିଫେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛ and we'll also discuss many more things here in the live sessions. Okay.
Sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so thank you all for joining in today. We'll meet in the next session again and come prepared from the literature part. Okay, thank you all.
Sir, up to Caroline.
Up to restoration age, up to the yes, Caroline age, beginning of restoration. हमें restoration period को next onwards discuss करिवा. Okay, up to Caroline age, literature को टिके discuss करिके आसिवा.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.